Hello everyone, are we ready to play another game of Star Realms today? I think I am. And you may have noticed that right there we've got the new little face cammy thing going on. I finally picked up a cheap little webcam there and thought I'd see what it's like if I add that into the mix. Let me know what your thoughts are, either positive, negative, neutral. If you have neutral thoughts, that's great too. I'm going to go ahead and try and start a game here, and we're going to see how long it takes for that to show up. So I may have to cut this. Oh, I've got one. It is their turn. Karma Guitars. I have no idea who you are. I will try and look you up on the Facebook group later on tonight, which is Thursday, by the way. Usually I record a bit earlier in the week than that. I've got 2 failed recordings from trying to set up new stuff, including the aforementioned face cam. And boy, I should have, paid attention to what was going on. A cutter and a trade bot. That is not the worst first turn you can have in the world. So I have got 4 for myself here for trade. I think I'm going to pick myself up a trade bot. I don't want them getting that much scrap, and it's not like I can get the trade escort, which is what I'd really like to get out there. The freighter always just feels so slow to me. It really does. I'm going to probably pick up the blob wheel just so I can sack that for the 3 trade later on. And oh, we see a brain world. Is that going to define this game? There is probably a decent chance that it will do so. Okay, now I'm getting worried. I probably cut most of that out, but did not end up. Is it going to let me leave the game? It says it's still their turn, which means they might be the one having connection issues. Or maybe they're just thinking. That is possible. It's early on in the game yet. I wouldn't think it should be that difficult, but it's possible. It's possible they're trying to figure out the whole way that their thing is going to go. Wow. Okay, I was kind of wondering if you could see certain things on the log. Like, I can't tell if there's a way to differentiate between games. Oh, Blob Fighter and Explorer. I should probably note what it is they're picking up here. Blob Fighter and another Explorer, I believe, is what they picked up. Now it is my turn, and I'm going to have, again, not what I would like to see. You know what? I want to have a chance at getting that brain world. I'm almost tempted to get the freighter just because if it comes up, that gives me a good shot at it, and it's probably a better shot than they have right now. So even though the ship top decking is going to take blue, I'm going to give it a shot. I mean, why not? And another one comes up. This is quite the interesting game we've got going on here. I'm going to see my blob wheel, so I'm going to see 3, 4, 5, 6 trade, which is enough to pick up the trade escort if I sack my blob wheel, because for those who aren't as familiar with this, that has the trash ability to add 3 trade. I will probably do that to pick up the trade escort, honestly, and then hope that I see the freighter in time to get the brain world. Still is not going to give my deck a lot of punch, so I'm really hoping that the brain world lets me get down to good stuff. Some brass tacks, as it were. And they picked up that freighter. I think they had the same idea of seeing that there is not a whole lot here, so try and go for those big trade value cards that you'd not normally get. And yeah, I'm gonna go for a trade escort. Although, space station is kind of tempting too, because that's another shot at getting the brain world. But ooh, we shall see what we shall see. That may have been a wrong call there, but hey, gotta try it out. And at least that is nice to see. I am going to get to scrap a scout from out of here with my trade bot. And that's going to give me 4 for this turn. So I'm probably going to pick that space station up if it sticks around, which I doubt it will. Yeah, big surprise there. I'm going to guess, I might actually get a Federation shuttle just because I do have a desire to trigger some blue factioning. I got to draw a card, and I've got the top decking ability. So that'd be nice to have that happen. Otherwise, I think at this point I probably wouldn't get the Federation shuttle, but yeah, I will go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and get him and see what turns up in his place. Another expensive base. The bad part is if I do get to faction off the freighter's ability, what ship exactly am I top decking here? Because we don't have any. It is a base row, and the cheapest one is a 5. So that is kind of weird. So I guess I get another Explorer. Do my 1 point of damage to his head. I have not had a lot of damage. End my turn. And okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am going to have enough this turn, and he does not have anything that forces discard. So if he does not get, or she, I just always default to the, yeah, that's because I'm a guy and I do that, and our society does that. Whatever. Anyway, my point is that this next turn they're probably picking up Brain World if they can, and if not, I have it. So I'm hoping they fall short of 8 trade this turn. I'm guessing they're going to get 5 or 6, and I don't know if they're going to want the junkyard if they get the 6. I mean, Brain World and so much better, but they might take it just to get what they can. And they get a scrap, and they get 6 trade. They did take it because that's what they could get. So that is something. And I'm going to pump all these guys out here, and it's kind of a shame. I'm going to get to trigger an ability that I don't get to use because there's no way I'm passing up the ability to buy Brain World when my opponent may well get it very, very soon themselves. So 1 whopping point of damage, but I have a Brain World in there, and I'm feeling that may be the make or break point of this game that I was able to pick that up. I'm hoping it is anyway, although there are still some good options for my opponent here. So it also occurs to me that some of you might not have all the cards memorized, so let's go ahead and take a look at my discard pile. What's great about this thing is scrap up to 2 cards from your hand or discard pile and draw a card for each scrap that way. It's an insane amount of scrap, especially if you get to leave it out for more than 1 turn. Oh, that is definitely not a bad pickup for them. Yeah, that Brain World's an insane amount of scrap, and you're replacing what you scrapped versus normal scrapping. It's just, if it's from your discard pile, it's not a big deal. If it's from your hand, it can really, really be painful. But yeah, I get to do that. I get to play all of these guys. And what do I want to do? Okay, I don't need any more scrappers because I just have an insane amount of scrappers now. I'm thinking, it is a tough call between the War World and the Imperial Frigate for me, just because that cantrip ability, that scrap him to draw a card, is really handy to have sometimes, especially if you know you have a good shot with what little's left. You just didn't get that good card that you really wanted, and that makes the difference in having a huge turn and having an turn. And plus, if I end up not liking how this fits in my deck in a little bit, I can scrap it out. But the War World is some defense. What they have in their deck, let's take a look at what's in the draw still. They have a decent amount of damage now. I would have thought the space station was more of a buy stuff, but its backup abilities are certainly not horrible. They really want to get their greens both together, so I'm thinking I go Imperial Frigate because it's a discard, which gives me a better chance of preventing them from connecting, and it is also a little bit of damage. I think that, what do I have for purchasing in here? I think I have a decent amount of purchasing, and I'm going to sack this Explorer. I'm going to do every little bit I can, and I'm going to ignore the 2 trade because I don't particularly want any of these cards at this point. So they get some combat for sure. They are not sacking their space station to buy any of the really expensive stuff, which is a little confusing for me. And so I'm going to knock it out next turn, and they've got a full draw deck that it's going into. So There's a good chance they won't see it for a while. I'm going to do this first and see what my draw is. Oh, I don't get the draw because that's the one that factions to do it. I always confuse all the blue ships. Yeah. So that's a little bit disappointing. But I get to take this guy out. And do I want any of this stuff? Do I particularly want it? I really, I wouldn't mind. My only worry is that I'm going to replace this with something my opponent wants. But I would not mind triggering that draw the next time that guy comes up. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm going to purchase that one. And now I see my brain world coming out, and it's coming out when I have a decent number of scouts in my discard pile, which is just fantastic. And I might even pull out some nice stuff from in here. If I could get both of the blues, this could be a ginormous turn, but chances are I will not be able to do so. But I think I'm going to be happy enough with this next turn anyway. And what do we see from them? We see a little more purchase. That's a really weird one. Okay. I'm going to play the Brain World, and I am going to use this ability. I am definitely going to scrap a couple of scouts out of here. I'm going to draw 2 cards from doing so. All right. Boy, that is tempting to use that for the draw right here, because I have a 50-50 shot of getting that top deck ability. And you know what? I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do it. I'm going to draw a card. And yes, I get my top decking ability. Oh, shoot. I don't want my top decking ability because it only works on ships. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh, let's scrap something out of here. Oh, man, my stupidity. I thought I had great stuff to buy. At least I can top deck. Play all these. See what I've got in total. 9. 9 is almost certainly the Blob World. Mostly because I don't want him to get it, because he's got a better amount of Blob cards. Although I don't really need more top deck, but the blue synergy of the draw card. I think I'm going to take that, because that works out better if we get one of each of these. 1 is not a big deal. So there we go. That is the end of my turn. I'm feeling a little bit bad because I completely missed that there were no big ships. I saw all the big numbers and I thought, yep, I'm going to get a big ship and top deck it. And no, that's not at all what happened. I got a big base. I mean, it's a base that's hard to feel bad about adding to my deck, even if it doesn't synergize faction-wise with what I have. But, whatever. I did make them discard 1, so hopefully that ruined some synergy for them this turn. What do they have? Yeah, I don't know. Probably didn't. Probably did not. And what do we have? We have a scrapper. We have a decent amount of damage. Yep, they took my Brain World out. That's a little bit sad, but what are you going to do? I can get 2, 3, 4 trade. I don't really want that. Ooh, yes, I do. I want the Blob Destroyer. I do want the Blob Destroyer. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scrap a Viper. And I'm going to play all these guys. And I'm going to purchase the Blob Destroyer. Again, I don't want them to have it. And I do not mind having it myself. I'm hoping that my deck soon gets down to a really good point, and I'm going to faction my Trade Escort, and I'm going to draw into my last card, which is the Trading Post, which is not super great, but I also have the Blob World with its 5 damage and its 7 points of defense, so they are going to have a difficult time getting damage into me. What can they get? 1, 2... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is the most they would be able to do. So they could take it out if they perfectly draw every piece of damage. And again, I should really be keeping track of what they have at the end of turns. It's a little more difficult to do for the video format, especially for someone who's not really comfortable being decent at the game, which I definitely have a ways to go on getting some of those finer points. figured out. Okay, here's what they get. I'm discarding 1. But, yeah, I was looking at the wrong hand anyway. So, I am discarding 1. I think I will discard a scout. Yes. Thank you, I will. Yep, play these guys. I can't hold that draw, which is disappointing. But, what are you going to do? So, I've got this and this and this. And what do I have that I can buy? I've got enough green now that I'm tempted to get the blob fighter just for a little bit more damage. I think I might do that. I don't want them adding it in with its draw ability. So I think I will do that. And another freebie is the survey ship. Not something I generally want to take early, but I don't mind having them later on when it's just extra draw. I'll do the 4, and oh, I forgot to take my 5 here and my healing here. And I better be careful about that. I'm just, yeah, that could be bad. So, chances are my blob world is going to survive, which means I'm going to get a couple of draws. That's one of the big reasons why I like the blob world, is it's going to faction off those greens that I'm not heavy enough in. Not as heavy as I would like to be. And there we see some scrapping going on and some buying going on. And what did they get? What all did they get? I do believe they picked up a recycling station. Yes, they did. Let's see. What do we want to do first? Is there a good ship I can buy? Once again, I am going to faction this guy and not be able to buy a ship. That is a little disappointing. So, in that case, well, I get to draw a card and destroy target base and or scrap a card in the trade row. Thank you very much. I will do both of those. I will scrap that, and I will scrap that. Yes, I will. And I'm hoping it's not a great card. That is not a great card. What do I have in here? Oh, let's see. I don't get to top deck it. So here we go. Now I get to top deck something, don't I? If I want a cutter, I can top deck it. But I do not get another draw. So I'm not sure I want to do that. I would not mind getting the central office. Mostly for defense, but oh boy, that is not bad for me either. So tough call. I think I'm going to take the central office. Oh boy, there we go. I'm going to get rid of that survey ship. I don't need them. I don't want them. And I'm going to take the 5. Ooh, or draw a card. Ooh, what could my 2 draws be? Don't have any cards in there so I'm just going to take the 5 damage right now. And I'm going to do that and call it a turn. I'm not going to take the cutter. No, I'm not. I know it's strange. And now I'm going to get my brain world, which is going to allow me to cycle just a little bit more. And I think my next turn can be pretty good. It's been a decent swing over the last couple of hands here. That's because I kind of had a long game going on, and they got a little bit stymied on a few turns, just not being able to get some great stuff. I would love if this next turn I could add the Blob Destroyer to my... Yeah, didn't think that was going to happen. Oh well. Let's see. Let's do a brain world first, which is scrap up 2 cards from my hand or discard pile. 2 scouts are going bye-byes. And I am going to draw a couple cards for them. Let's see. I get to... What do I get to do? I get to central office, and here, that's going to be some draws. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I get to... what do I want to do in what order here? Trading post. Scrap a scout out of there. And what does he do? Target base and or in the trade row. I might want to do that soon. And what do we have here? You may put the next ship you acquire, and again, yeah. I'm going to get 7. So I think I'm going to scrap this barter world. Yeah, that's going to be what I do. What do I have in here? I have those. I would love to add something nice with that, but I just can't get another draw. That's really disappointing. Oh well, oh well. Let's do that and say that we would not mind. Target opponent discards a card and this. And you know what? That probably at this point of the game is not too bad of an idea. Although I just uncovered more options for them, which was probably not great. So I am going to... Ooh, do I want to draw a card for each of these? Draw a card for just the one? Is that going to be more than 5 points of damage? It's got a decent shot at it, so I'm going to risk it. Draw a card for that one? No, it was not. No, it was not. I don't have any other yellows, but they are discarding one, so that there is a small amount of consolation here. Probably should have taken the 5 damage. I'm going to go ahead and just do my damage and end the turn then, I do believe. Trading post. Oh, shoot. I forgot to take my 1. Yes, I completely forgot that again. And now I get worried because 12 to 49 is the kind of point where I screw up. But I do have, what do I have? 1, 2... 2 of these are outposts. They're going to definitely... I don't know if they still really necessarily want to go for the brain world because I really don't have that much stuff I want to use it on right now. I would probably do a Federation shuttle in at this point. No, I'm still going to get my draws from a couple of these because chances of them taking them all out are pretty small. I think I probably have this one. I think I did run away with it getting this, but anything is possible in Star Realms. And here we go. We see their turn. I'm going to have to discard 1. And what do we get? They're buying a bunch of stuff. They did get my brain world, and I am discarding 2. So, I don't like that. I do not like that at all. Target opponent discards a card. Target opponent discards a card. So we're going to say those 2. That's a little bit disappointing. But we will see what we get. We did get that. And then we get another draw here. And then we get a top deck if we want. We get this. And we get this. So they're discarding 2. And destroy target base. Uh-oh. That's going to be difficult for them. And what do I want to do? Probably that one. Select that battle pod. Yeah, I got 17, and I'm not gonna prolong this. I'm just gonna take the win. I had a lot of fun in that one. That was kind of crazy near the end. They were doing a decent amount of damage on me early on, but my strategy of trying to build up just enough and get that brain world for myself, I think, was the difference. What do you guys think? Is there something you would have done differently? Do you think I did it okay? And what do you think of the little face cam doobly-doo? let me know in the comments below. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.